Mahama ton Tema Multipurpose Hydrocarbon Depot. What Tema? Ediama Burkina Faso $70 million.
One that signaled more than just an economic transaction. On March 5th, 2025, Burkina Faso, a landlocked West African country, formally announced its acquisition of the Tema Multipurpose Hydrocarbon Depot in Ghana. The $70 million purchase wasn't just a headline. It was the culmination of a strategic vision years in the making. A vision that sought to free the country from its long-standing energy vulnerability and place it on a trajectory toward greater economic independence. But to understand why this moment was so significant, we need to trace the journey, a story filled with ambition, geopolitics, survival, and determination. Before we dive deeper into today's update, take a moment to Burkina Faso's reliance on hydrocarbons has always been precarious. With no coastline of its own, the country has depended on access to foreign ports, mainly in Ghana, Togo, and Côte d'Ivoire, to bring in essential petroleum products. These fuels are vital, not just for transportation, but for industrial operations, agriculture, and powering homes and businesses. According to the African Development Bank, biomass still accounts for an overwhelming 86% of the nation's energy consumption, primarily through wood and charcoal. But that reliance has come at a cost, making the country vulnerable to price fluctuations, regional instability, and the whims of third-party infrastructure owners. For years, the Burkina National Hydrocarbons Company, better known as SONAB, operated within these limitations, utilizing storage facilities located beyond its borders. The arrangement was fragile, especially as instability spread across the Sahel. Any disruption in supply chains could trigger fuel shortages back home, raising prices and stifling economic activity. In a region already dealing with security threats, political transitions, and underdeveloped infrastructure, this was a risk Burkina Faso could no longer afford to take. Then came a turning point. Following a coup in 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traoré rose to power, ushering in a government determined to change the country's trajectory. Traoré emphasized national sovereignty, infrastructure development, and self-reliance. That agenda, though ambitious, quickly translated into tangible action. One of the boldest examples came in January 2025, when the country inaugurated a massive 104,000 cubic meter storage depot in Penny, located in western Burkina Faso. That facility alone cost 32 billion FCF, about $53 million, and it was just the beginning. But while domestic infrastructure was important, the country's leadership recognized that true energy security required something more. They needed a foothold outside their borders, a strategic outpost. That's when the Tema Multipurpose Terminal entered the picture. Located in Ghana's bustling industrial hub of Tema, the TMPT is a fully operational hydrocarbon depot. Previously owned by Blue Ocean Investment Limited, a leading player in petroleum distribution across West Africa, the terminal lies just 600 kilometers from Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou. It's close enough for logistical convenience, but more importantly, it sits on the Atlantic coast, giving Burkina Faso direct access to the global petroleum trade. This was not just any terminal. The TMPT has the infrastructure to receive ocean tankers, store large volumes of gasoline and diesel, and distribute them through a well-established trucking network. SONAB already used the facility in the past, which meant the company was familiar with its operations. But renting was no longer good enough. Ownership became the goal. After months of behind-the-scenes negotiations, on March 5th, 2025, the deal was made official. The $70 million acquisition was announced during a Council of Ministers meeting in Ouagadougou, chaired by none other than Captain Ibrahim Traoré. The deal was widely covered by local and international media, including APA News, Africa News Agency, and Burkina Faso's state-owned Sidwaya. In their announcement, the Burkina government didn't mince words. It is imperative to have at least one depot outside Burkina Faso to ensure energy security, they declared. With the TMPT now under SONAB's control, the nation had a critical node in the regional petroleum supply chain, one that they could manage on their own terms, without third-party interference. The implications of this acquisition are profound. First, it strengthens energy security in a tangible way. In a region where fuel supply chains can be fragile, Having direct control over a coastal depot provides a buffer against market volatility and logistical disruptions. It means fewer delays, more predictability, and ultimately better fuel availability across the country. The recent acquisition of the Tema Multipurpose Terminal, TMPT, by Burkina Faso represents a major leap in the country's energy security strategy. Though the government has not disclosed TMPT's precise capacity, its designation as a multi-purpose facility suggests both scale and flexibility. Paired with the newly established storage depot in Pény, Burkina Faso is now developing a dual-layered energy infrastructure, one focused on domestic storage and the other serving as an international fuel import hub. Together, they form a more resilient system than the country has ever had. However, this move is not solely about resilience, it's also about operational efficiency. By owning TMPT outright, Sonabi, Burkina Faso's national petroleum company, eliminates recurring rental fees for third-party storage facilities, saving substantial costs over time. The acquisition also gives Sonai broader freedom to procure fuel from a wider range of global suppliers, extending far beyond West Africa. In today's volatile energy markets, diversifying supply sources is a wise and forward-thinking move. There's also a strategic diplomatic angle. The acquisition has the potential to deepen ties with Ghana, a key ECOWAS member, that even as Burkina Faso aligns more closely with Mali and Niger through the newly formed Confederation of Sahel States. Ghana's former president, John Dramani Mahama, is believed to have supported the sale, a gesture of regional cooperation that could pave the way for greater collaboration in trade, infrastructure, and political dialogue. The timing of this acquisition is particularly notable. It coincided with President Mahama's visit to Mali on March 8, 2025, hinting at coordinated efforts and shared regional priorities. Seen in this light, TMPT isn't just a business purchase. It's a calculated diplomatic move aimed at bridging political divisions and reinforcing national interests. For Blue Ocean Investment Limited, the $70 million sale marks a significant divestment. As a prominent player in West Africa's petroleum industry, the company likely saw the transaction as a strategic exit, capitalizing on Tema's growing port activity and increasing competition. While their motivations may vary, the end result is a win for Burkina Faso. Since the acquisition, Sonabi has moved quickly to assume control of operations. According to reports from Pravda, Burkina Faso, and updates on social media platform X, formerly Twitter, the terminal began handling direct imports just days after the announcement. This swift transition has already started reducing fuel delivery delays and minimizing the threat of shortages. For ordinary Burkinabe citizens, this could soon lead to more stable pump prices and fewer disruptions during critical periods. TMPT is now the central artery through which Burkina Faso's fuel flows. It anchors a vital 1,200-kilometer corridor from the port of Tema to the northern parts of the country. With ownership of this route, Burkina Faso gains not just a supply line, but a secure and controlled energy chain, one less vulnerable to the disruptions of the past. Looking to the future, the economic potential is significant. The acquisition promises more stable fuel prices, improved energy access, and higher productivity across key sectors like industry, transport, and agriculture. As energy reliability increases, so does Burkina Faso's attractiveness to investors. The International Monetary Fund has linked such infrastructure investments to GDP growth, and with the economy projected to grow by 4.3% in 2025, the country is banking on this upward trend. That said, challenges lie ahead. Maintaining the TMPT facility, ensuring secure import operations, and protecting the transport corridor through the Sahel's volatile landscape will require constant vigilance. Risks such as fuel theft, security threats, and regional instability remain real concerns. But for now, the country is optimistic. From the dusty streets of Ouagadougou to the busy docks of Tema, this acquisition is reshaping Burkina Faso's approach to energy. It goes beyond mere economics. It's a bold assertion of national autonomy, a strategic gamble aimed at achieving energy independence, and a symbol of what determined leadership can accomplish. As of March 10, 2025, this story is still unfolding. But what's already clear is that Burkina Faso has taken a decisive step towards self-reliance. The Tema Multipurpose Terminal is no longer just a fuel depot. It has become a beacon of transformation, a foundation of economic stability, and a key chapter in Burkina Faso's journey toward